Bilmold.
Killie's woes continues. They've now gone 10 league games without a victory and the fans are becoming restless. Saints were 2 up at the interval. John Paul McBride in 17 minutes and John O'Neill 10 minutes later put Saints on their way to their 4th away league win of the season. And Haller and Jones and Lowndes all squandered good goal scoring chances to put Saints on easy street. 4 minutes into the second half, Killie reduced the leeway. Peter Canero delivered a cross to the back post and Paul Wright scored from close range for his first league goal of the season. Bobby Williamson used 3 of his substitutes in an effort to salvage the game, but it wasn't to be, and Saints held out for a narrow win in a game that should have well and truly sewn up at the interval. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2.
Thanks, Bill. And
Kilmarnock and St Johnstone were two sides in desperate need of a win. Their meeting turned out to be as close as ever. A win. Matches between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone were all about the battle for a UEFA Cup place. So far this season, they have both been struggling in the lower half of the table, with Kilmarnock in particular in trouble, just 3 points ahead of the bottom side, Aberdeen. Today's meeting at Rugby Park then was an important 90 minutes for both. Chick Young has the best of the action.
Kilmarnock have had a few hard luck stories to tell recently. Early in this game they added another chapter. On loan Andy Smith saw glory in front of his eyes. Had he looked left he would have seen Paul Wright. And then of course came the sting. Gary Bowen made the run, Graham Jones supplied the cross, and John Paul McBride coolly took his first goal for St Johnstone. The Killie players thought he was offside, but the defenders were caught very flat, and the former Celtic player simply put the ball in the net with a view to discussing the options later. Bad went to worse for Killie, although this was a beautifully crafted goal. John O'Neill was the orchestrator-in-chief, with McBride playing his part, but O'Neill's movement and finish a joy to watch. John O'Neill in a waltz, Kilmarnock dancing in quicksand. Kilmarnock were in disarray at this stage, and Keith O'Halloran should have added a third. Meldrum's one-handed save kept his team alive. And further life was breathed into them early in the second half. Peter Canero made a powerful run down the right, and Paul Wright scored his first league goal in a year, but only just. In off the underside of the bar from 3 yards, and Killie back in the ball game. And at the other end they survived a Gary Bowen shot thanks to a double save by Meldrum, which also frustrated John O'Neill. But in the end it didn't matter. Jones could have made it 3, but it ended 2-1 for Saints, and with more disappointment for Bobby Williamson, but more joy for the travelling Perth support.
I suppose, Gordon, that could turn out to be a very important win for St Johnstone. Those victories have been few and far between for them.
Well, that's right, and it puts a gap between them and Kilmarnock as well. You know, so there was almost a 6-pointer in Premier Division terms, you have to say. But you know, Kilmarnock, a little bit of a worry for them. I mean, they've only got the 3-point cushion from Aberdeen now, who are last, and you know, Kilmarnock, you know, the home games are not taking advantage of these home matches. It
was John O'Neill who scored what turned out to be the winner. He's a player who was getting a lot of headlines last season. I haven't seen too much of him. His problems contractually this year, but he takes this very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like John O'Neill. I think he's an excellent player, and you know, he does well in 2 stages here. He goes wide initially. I see him playing a little 1-2, John Paul McBride, but gets it back. Kilmarnock defence actually have gone to sleep there, because they really should be tracking the run, waiting for a 1-2 there, but they're stepping out, and that's probably the thing that's made Kilmarnock a very good defence, is that ability to step out and catch teams offside. But they've been caught with 2 goals and almost another one from the same sort of situation there, so it's just not quite working the way, you know, Killie have been used to. And one of the aspects of their side normally is very good, is the defensive side. The Killie are a hard team to score against, so they give themselves a mountain to climb by going 2 goals down, that's for sure.
It's 10 games in a row now without a win, which is the longest such run in the SPL this season, even worse than Aberdeen. They've always been saying week in, week out, we're playing well, we're just not winning. You can't keep saying that.
Well, I didn't see that game today, but in the games I have seen, they are playing well, and I know you can't keep saying that. You can't. I mean, you end up getting relegated if you don't win at all in any games. But I mean, I think that maybe the winter break might just come at a good time for Kilmarnock, because last year they actually stopped their good run. They were going well until the winter break. This year they might just be in need of a break and get back with a renewed confidence and a renewed surge in order to get themselves up the table. But they're a better side than their position shows, to be honest with you.
Well, let's just have a check now on how the 4 league tables stand in Scotland tonight. And there was just one other game in the SPL today.